Hello!
So, today we're here to bring you our June book haul, which has plenty of books.
Very many books,
and
yes.
other things, maybe?
And a couple of other things.
So, we'll get right to it. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna talk about books that I was gifted by some lovely people. First of all, Maki went on a trip to LA. Yeah, LA recently.
Yes!
For a wedding, which I wanted to come along to but couldn't. And he brought back a book for me. The book is called The Boyfriend Bracket, and it's by Kate Evangelista. The tagline says, 8 boys, 16 dates, 1 perfect boyfriend. So essentially you kind of get the idea of what this book is about. It's a girl, makes a bracket for herself, probably goes out on dates with all these people.
In high school.
It sounds like a fanfic, honestly, which I'm not opposed to because fanfics are great.
The linchpin, however, is that, and I had to do it because I read the cover, is that it involves a friend who is so obviously the ship.
It involves a friend who is the older brother's best friend, which is my favorite, one of my favorite guy love interest tropes ever. So yeah, can't wait to read that one. And then my cousin Carmela was in Thailand, and I was like, well, if you happen to go to a bookstore, think of me. She actually found me the Thai edition of The Orphan Queen by Jodi Meadows. It's so shiny, and I love that they put Will on the cover. It's so good. I can't read it to save my life, obviously, but this is amazing.
Cool.
And then my friend Rachel was cleaning out her library, and I don't own these in paperback yet, so I was like, I will happily adopt them if you want to give them to me. So she gave me her paperback editions of Jodi's first series, the New Soul series, Incarnate, Asunder, and Infinite, which I love. The boy in this one is still one of my all-time book crushes, and nobody is going to take him from me, except maybe Anna, who's the main character of this book. Essentially, it's about a soul who is the only new soul born into a world where 1 million souls just reincarnate over and over again, and how she deals with that position and what it means for their world. So it's such a good series, very interesting mix of genres. It's science fiction and fantasy all together, and I love it so much.
Cool. And now a friendly word from our publishers. Yes, actually I have no idea. But the publisher sent us a bunch of stuff, which is really cool.
Are you going to do your unboxing first?
Yeah, I'm gonna save the boxes for last.
Okay.
We'll save the boxes for last, actually.
Yes, I also have a couple.
So, we're gonna start out with The Apprentice Witch. Lovely Scholastic sent us this.
It's such a cute cover.
I know. So, it's starting about an apprentice witch who may have flunked like her tests or whatever, and she just wants to be a real witch. And I thought, oh, that's a cute little coming-of-age tale.
It is.
Fantasy. Oh, Jacqueline Carey! Starless! Ah, is this the new one?
Not the Jocelyn one, but it is a new Jacqueline Carey, yes. Tagline says, gods walk the earth, but only a mortal can save it. Dun dun dun.
I just basically trust almost anything.
He loves Jacqueline Carey after reading Cushelle multiple times,
so happy that we have that. So this next book is The Selkie of San Francisco. I think it is a direct sequel to The Guardians of the Griffin Claw. Number 2, I guess, in a series of From the Files of the Department of Mythical Wildlife. So I did a review for that book. I know, so I got the book 1, I think, at BEA last year.
Yeah, I think so.
And so how lovely to find book 2 in our midst.
And a finished copy.
And a finished copy as well. So we'll figure out how that works and see what these funny kids who did a really good thing with the Griffin's Claw caper kind of thing, and see how well they turned out. Lastly, another book 2, which was a huge treat for me because I picked up book 1 last year at BA, signed by Camila Benko, is The Unicorn Quest, Secret in the Stone. Right there. Lovely, lovely book. Some friends of ours already got this at BAA this year, but we were lucky to get it in the mail. So we're really appreciative to Bloomsbury for getting us this book. They've been nothing but lovely forever. So cannot wait to see what happens to these two.
I still have to read book 1.
Well, it's about 2 sisters, which is my kind of opening pitch to you. And so I think that's something that we should be all looking forward to, because who doesn't want a world full of unicorns? Or are there any left?
Unicorns are great.
Yes,
Alright, my turn. First, from St. Martin's Press, I got a copy of The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. Haven't read anything by this author just yet, but I do have The Nightingale on my Kindle. And my sister has read it and really enjoyed that one. This is set in Alaska. I think it's set in the aftermath of one of the wars, I'm pretty sure. The Vietnam War. And it's about a former prisoner of war who comes home to Alaska, and a bunch of things happen there. I don't know much more about it, but I am very intrigued because I haven't read anything, I think, set in Alaska. Next, from my friends over at Forever Romance, my friend Estelle specifically, she sent me a copy of The Good Luck Charm by Helena Hunting, and from first glance you can clearly tell that this is going to be like a contemporary chick lit romance. Is it love, or is she just his good luck charm? It looks like it's a second chance sort of romance between the main character Lila and her boyfriend Ethan, but he seems to just consider her his lucky charm for his hockey career. That's what I'm getting from the summary, so we'll see. I hope I enjoy it. I've been looking for another fun contemporary to read on the beach, and this sounds perfect. Next we have this one. I didn't even know like it was coming. It's The Art of Winnie the Pooh, how E.H. Shepard illustrated an icon. And it's just
it's Pooh Bear.
This is a collectible, clearly, and it just shows you details the story of how the art came to be, how, you know, the iconic Winnie the Pooh. Ooh, there's a keepsake art print in it. Oh look, it's a map of the 100-acre wood. This is just gonna go on our shelf right next to the Winnie the Pooh that I got. Also, that movie is probably going to
murder us where we stand, so I'm not watching it yet. Need
I'm gonna watch it
stability.
Next we have Lovely, Dark and Deep by Justina Chen. The only reason that I am excited about this one, well, the main reason I'm excited about this one is because the author is the author of North of Beautiful, which is something I read on the recommendation of Rachel from Hello Chelly, and it was really good. What would you do if the sun became your enemy? So basically, the main character is develops a case of photosensitivity, which means you're the simplest way to put it is that you're allergic to sunlight. And so she's trying to maintain a normal life, but it kind of gets hard because of this photosensitivity, and she doesn't want things to change, especially when this boy shows up in her life as well. Can I just tell you how he's described? Funny, talented Thor lookalike. I'm sold.
So basically Chris Hemsworth.
Basically. Actually, yeah. Anyway, so basically I am obviously going to read this book, and I really hope I enjoy it. So many books, guys. Next we have The Year of Living Awkwardly, sophomore year, Emma Chastain.
Not every year.
This is...
Sorry.
This is the follow-up. I think there was a book last year. What is it called? I don't remember anymore. I know there's another book from last year that is about the same character, so this is a sequel, so I didn't really look at what it was about. I haven't read the first one yet, so I can't tell you anything about it. But this cover though. Also the fact that it's about the year of living awkwardly and it's set in high school.
Again, it's every year, babe. Like,
it's my high school.
It's still me. Like every year is an awkward year.
I got this from a friend, a finished copy of Roar by Cora Carmack. It is a fantasy that centers around elemental magic, so what's not to want to read about this one?
Very little.
Next is Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is an ARC. This is already very much buzzed about. It is a YA thriller that's coming out in September, and that's really all I know about it. When I read thrillers, I definitely tend to not read synopsis because I don't really want any idea what I'm getting into.
Yeah, you're just gonna want to
but I have heard good things about this one, so I'm very much looking forward to it. Plus, I really like this cover. And then we have From the Earth to the Shadows by Amanda Hocking, and this is Valkyrie book 2. I actually read book 1, I think it might have been last year, Between the Blade and the Heart. It's a Valkyrie book, so the main character is a Valkyrie, and she and her friends end up having to team up in order to pretty much save the world, and this is the continuation of that adventure, and I'm very much looking forward to finding out what happens.
Book 2s are awesome.
Thanks to Flatiron Books, I have a copy of If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. This is a strstory about a trans main character who had to move away from her hometown and start over fresh. And she's not sure how or when she's going to be able to be honest about her story. I've actually read this one. I'll link to my review. It was very moving. It was very hard to read too, because that's a very difficult thing, but it also gave me a little more like insight into what it might be like, and I really appreciated that a lot, so definitely check that out. This one is called All That I Can Fix by Crystal Chun. I believe this is from Simon Teen, and it is basically the story of a family who It's one of those quirky YA stories with like, there's an exotic zoo and the animals get free. The main character's from a mixed race family. I don't really know that much about it.
Say no more.
I actually think this is more up his alley than mine.
Zoo jailbreak? Yeah.
I don't even know. Like, I'm just gonna hand it to Max because I actually might like it better. And then we have Side by Side, a novel of Bonnie and Clyde by Jenny Walsh. Clearly,
Cool.
it's a Bonnie and Clyde story. While I don't necessarily think that that is the greatest, like, most interesting love story in the world, it is fascinating in terms of like the whole idea of Bonnie and Clyde. So, you know, you can't blame me for being interested in this one. Looking forward to reading it. That's what I've done. Hold. You'd Be Mine by Erin Han. It's a contemporary YA and it involves music and romance and summer, and obviously we are going to enjoy it. We being me.
The royal we.
Imprison the Sky by A.C. Goggin came from Bloomsbury. Mackie actually picked up a copy of this at BEA.
Signed.
So someone is going to get to participate
Giveaway.
in the giveaway. This is the companion novel sequel to Reign the Earth, which I read and loved earlier this year. It's about a girl, Reign the Earth, that is about a girl who ends up marrying the king of the desert lands, or part of them, to save her people. And she finds out that he's kind of an asshole. And when I say kind of an asshole, I mean he's really abusive. So trigger warning, fair trigger warning for that. And so Shalia, the main character in that book, has to figure out just how to protect herself and her people at the same time, and what she's going to do about this terrible, terrible king. This book is told from a completely different perspective, but I'm assuming that we're going to run into the characters from the first book, which I would really, really like. So yeah, looking forward to it as well.
Hurrah.
I'm just going to keep going. Small Spaces by Catherine Arden. Actually, Mackie might also want to read this one. It's a ghost story. It's a middle grade ghost story. Catherine Arden is the author of The Bear and the Nightingale and The Girl in the Tower. This one is actually sent to me by my friend Heidi from YA Bibliophile. So that's all I really know.
My little boy who just loves to read books. That was pretty much my childhood.
That's you!
So
And ghosts. This one is from my friend Laura. She sent me an arc of Empire of Sand by Tasha Suri. Let me just read you the taglines. A nobleman's daughter with magic in her blood. An empire built on the dreams of enslaved gods. I mean, honestly, I was sold on the title and the cover alone, and then I heard that and I was like, okay, gotta read it. So really looking forward to that. I'm just like, oh, and Macmillan sent over a box right after BEA. I wasn't able to show those books. I don't remember if I was. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so first is The Prodigy by John Feinstein. It's a story of secrecy, sacrifice, and the decision of a lifetime as a teen golfer is poised to blaze his way into Masters tournament history. Basically a YA contemporary about golf.
Basically.
Then we have this little sampler of On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden, and it's a sci-fi story where there are two timelines and there's a love story. Sounds familiar. Then we have Carols and Chaos by Cindy Anstey. This looks like a historical romance type deal set at Christmas time, so don't think you could really go wrong with that. And then another copy of Blanca y Roja by Anna Marie McLemore, which is a her take on the Snow White and Rose Red story. And the last thing in this box was An American Road Trip by Patrick Flores Scott, which has this cover, and it says, a road trip in search of healing. So, with a strong family, the best friend a guy could ask for, and the budding romance with the girl of his dreams, life shows promise for Theodore T. Abla. And then, apparently it's a family road trip where they're in search of some healing, specifically for his older brother who returns from a tour in Iraq with PTSD.
Terrible.
So yeah, those are all the books I got from Macmillan, so thank you very much for sending them.
Thankies.
Now we can move on to boxes, of which I have many.
In which case I will start. So first box we're gonna open is a box for
It's really cool.
Willa of the Wood. Now,
Can we just talk about how beautiful that cover is? Though?
so this cover is gorge.
It's like
just
so
lovely.
beautiful.
And then there's like this girl like in the woods defiantly with like, you know, like her wolf. It comes with I want to say forest carpeting.
Yeah, in the box.
Like there's like, you know, stuff in there. And then it comes with a, I want to say this is a notepad.
Yeah.
Or it looked like a journal, sort
Or
of.
maybe it was a journal, maybe I'm wrong.
Let's see if it's a journal or no, it's totally a notepad.
Oh, and post-its.
And post-its.
How
And it's
cool.
got like forest
and
mulch
it's
in
like
it
wood,
too. Yep, because, you know, that's where she's from. And a keychain made out of, oh, it's like a branch, I guess.
Cool.
Of the wood. Pretty cool.
And then the forest has like
Forest
stones
has
and
like
stuff.
little kind of green stones there and like twigs and very, very cool.
I love it. The packaging is amazing.
I know, it's
That's
pretty
from
awesome.
Disney, I think. So
So thank you, Disney. The next box from Alexa. Sorry, the next box from Alexa is...
Technically it's not a box as it is so much an envelope, and the envelope actually says, "You're invited to Samuel University." I actually did not see that part before I opened it. And then when I opened it, the first thing is a letter. It's an acceptance letter to Samuel University. It also includes like a little like newsletter of what you can find. And then you get this door hanger that says, "Come in, y'all, the pies are ready." And then the back says, "Do not disturb. Procrastinating." Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
It says not to chirp either. You got a lanyard.
A lanyard. Eric Biddle, who is the main character, I think, of this graphic novel. Oh, stickers! How cute! There's a little Samuel University flag, because you know, we're athletic in this house. And
competitive baking.
There is an advanced reader's edition of Check Please, book number 1.
It's hockey and baking.
The main character is apparently
my 2 favorite things.
a hockey player who also likes baking, so I'm in, really. I've been hearing nothing but great things from my friends about this graphic novel, so I can't wait to read it. So, Stephanie Garber, the author of Caraval and Legendary, was amazing and decided to be generous and send this whole box to me, even though I told her not to send the box, just the arc. It says, oh, I can't even read it. Des Scala, you read it.
Des Scala Animeux
Fisca ec forma humane. Is that Latin? Yeah. And then it says, "In the heart of Paris you will find royals hoarding influence over humans, witches who spill pretty blood for magic, goblins, fashionable tricksters with a taste for vengeance, and beasties, the most powerful of them all. They just don't know it yet."
That is so cool!
And this obviously is a box for Grim Lovelies. Ta-da! It has these really cool enamel pins, lip balm, and best of all, and most exciting of all,
the actual arc.
The actual arc for Grim Lovelies. Really, honestly, all I know about this one is that it's got those 4 races. It's set in Paris. It is a murder mystery, sort of, and it sounds so good. Dramatic tagline: "How far would you go to hold on to the only life you've ever known, even when it's far from a fairy tale?"
Oh yeah, there you go.
Stephanie loved this book, and I hope I love it as much as she does, so I cannot wait to read it. So in the last haul I did, I showed you guys one of the Psy mailers I got, which is in support of the release of the Darkest Minds movie and The Darkest Legacy by Alexandra Bracken. Look, I got another one! This time it says, "Resilience, Resistance, and Reckoning." It's a slightly smaller box. First thing in it is this tin, and inside the tin there are magnetic words, and then they form a passage from The Darkest Legacy. You can find the finished passage on my Instagram stories in one of the highlights. This box was inspired by the Green Side for Intelligence, and there was a pouch in it. Has the same thing, Resilience, Resistance, and Reckoning on it. And then there was this personal note from Alex Bracken, which was lovely, and this has the Darkest Minds quote on it. "Darkest minds tend to hide behind the most unlikely faces." And the most important and exciting thing that was in this box, which I honestly was screaming about, it is this bound manuscript edition of The Darkest Legacy. It has my name on it, which is flipping cool. Yeah, I have an arc from BA because Mackie was nice and got me a wristband, but this is also extra special because it's one of the very few editions that exist in the world, and I'm so excited. This is Zoo's story. If you've read The Darkest Minds, Zoo is one of the secondary characters, and she finally gets her time to shine, and I'm so excited about it.
Amazing.
That was a green box, that's trash. There's also one more box that I need to show you that is a Psy mailer. This time it's blue, and it says, "Read it before you see it," if you can read that. This one is inspired by the blue side, which is telekinesis. And in this one you have, oops, that's not part of that. In this one you have, this is a movie poster. I'm almost tempted not to unroll it because then I have to roll it again.
Well, if it's the same,
you'll see it in a second because it's the same cover. There's also this awesome t-shirt that says, I love the shirt. It says, "Book before movie. The Darkest Minds circa 2012, which is when it first came out, and it was so good." Then there's this tiny little charm, which I'm about to show you. It's got the symbol on it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Well, no matter. All of this is on my Instagram too, so you can see it there. And there's a movie tie-in edition of The Darkest Minds. What makes this one special is right there, where you see that sort of dark stripe, that's photos from the movie set. So if you want to see it, you gotta see it. And yes, this is the exact movie poster that is in this too. So yeah, this was also a very exciting package. I think I have maybe 1 or 2 more coming, so I'm so excited about that. Also, this edition is out already. The Darkest Legacy is coming out on July 31st, and the movie is out on August 3rd. So remember all those dates, you guys.
Hooray!
And the last box is a box from the novel, which we got to curate ourselves when we went to the Novelty for Book Expo week. So the first thing in the box is An Assassin's Guide to Love and Treason by Virginia Boker, and it's being pitched as Philippa Gregory meets Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And if you are going to compare those 2 things to this story, I'm just like going to have high expectations. So looking forward to it. Next, we have a finished paperback copy of Strange to the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, which I still have not read, and I am a terrible human. It's about Laszlo Strange, who is a librarian, and he dreams of this place called Weep, and that's pretty much all I know about it. The sequel is out this year, so I'm gonna have to read it soon. That's the 3rd copy I owned of that book. There's this novel notes notebook. On the back it says, "For the love of books," and it's got really cute pages. I don't know if you guys can see that. There are 2 pins. One says "Booked all week," and the other says "Stay bookish." Next thing in this box is actually something Maki also got at VA, so this might also be part of a giveaway. Dear Evan Hansen the novel, an ARC edition, and it's basically inspired by the Evan Hansen musical, which we love the soundtrack to. Specifically, I just really like Waving Through a Window for Forever. Actually, that's not true. I've listened to the entire thing, and even though it makes me feel very emotional, it's also like
terribly emotional.
Good. So this might also be in a giveaway, so you can watch out for that. And the last thing, but also the most important, is an arc of The Wicked King by Holly Black, which I've already read and loved, and you will probably see me talk about it in What We Read. I don't know if it's going up before or after, but it's so good, you guys! Okay, that was the end of my boxes.
Ha! Now we move on to the things that we actually bought. I'm gonna start, for those of you who've seen the video prior to this, for those of you who've seen the video prior to this, I pretty much basically explained that it's been a slow reading month because I have been focused on trying to be a kind of a newbie game master, dungeon person.
I was gonna say Dungeon Dragon?
Dungeon master. Because we're trying out Dungeons & Dragons for the first time, and I've run homebrews before, not based on the Dungeons & Dragons system, but just my own kind of like tabletop RPGs.
And they were amazing.
They were fun, but I figured let's go figure out how all of this stuff started, pay homage. And so in the last haul that we had, you guys saw that I bought the Curse of Strahd. We haven't gotten to that yet, but we will, because Christopher Super Space Chick really loves apparently the whole kind of vampire kind of awesome thing, so we'll do that eventually. And then you might have seen also the Player's Guide. After that, it was a terrible downward spiral for me.
You blinked and all of this happened.
I blinked and all of this happened. So it started out with just the Dungeon Master's Guide because, hey, I needed to build a world, right?
Yeah.
But then I also needed monsters, so of course I'm going to need the Monsters Manual.
Yeah.
But then, as I was putting the stuff together, 3 other books came out, which were very, very important to dungeon building. Xanthar's Guide to Everything, Volo's Guide to Monsters, and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, which basically altogether combined is a great kind of complement to whatever already exists in terms of your knowledge about lore and monsters and the classes. And for those of you who've never played Dungeons & Dragons before, or maybe have seen some allusions on like the Big Bang Theory and stuff, the cool thing about Dungeons & Dragons is that you get to be different kinds of people that you want with different kind of skills, and sometimes those skills are fleshed out for you really well. These provide supplements to that. You can even pick different species and races that you can be, and so all together this gives you basically the entire sandbox that you can play with, officially, at least anyway. I mean, these are suggestions. They're lovely reference materials if you want to, not maybe use your brains.
For writing too, I think.
And they're actually really, really good for writing. In fact, I highly recommend the Dungeon Master's Guide for anyone who wants to be a writer. It's a roundabout way of figuring out how to plot an entire story, because although your characters are going to be unpredictable in the game, you're going to want to give them something to work with and around.
Of course.
And this basically tells you everything on how to do that. So I recommend all of these to anybody who has the money to spare, of which I have none anymore, but they're great.
We're gonna survive on cup noodles, yo.
That's true. In fact, we're gonna get cup noodles right after this.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. So, Rachel from Hello Charlie and I had like a fun day out, and then we stopped by this bookstore called Albertine in New York City, and they are basically a French bookstore. And so obviously when I saw this copy of Harry Potter in French, guess who bought it? Oh wait, that's me.
Wait.
So I actually have 2 copies of it in French already, but they don't have this cover. So clearly I had to fix that by buying it. Technically they should have been in my June book haul, but I totally forgot that it was there until this month. So we're just gonna show it now. In the May Alacrate, there were 2 books. First is Catching Stars, which is by Kayla Keenan, and it's a witch story, which intrigues me. I don't read a lot of witch stories in general. Weirdly enough, that is not what I gravitate towards when it comes to fantasy or paranormal, so sounds interesting.
I could read it.
You could read it. And this is the Alacrate exclusive edition of Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. This is one of my favorite books of 2018. It's about a girl who is basically raised in a sort of culture that is Viking, and she and her clan totally fight against this other clan, but then one day while they're in the middle of a battle, she sees that her brother, who is supposed to be dead, is actually on the opposing side, and so the story unravels from there. Very, very good. Great standalone option if you want one of those, so definitely check that out. Mac is gonna be excited about this. Guess what we finally own? Shadow Magic and Dream Magic by Joshua Kahn.
Physical print.
Yes, we have Burning Magic because we got that from Disney, who were so great about sending it to us. I'm very excited to read them because Mackie really loved them.
I swear by these books forever and ever.
So I can't wait. I'm gonna put that in my TBR right now. So I'm just gonna drop that there. So we can finally actually post that interview. I'm sorry if Joshua Kahn ever watches this.
I'm gonna link
It's my fault. The Mina Lima edition of The Secret Garden is flippin' fantastic. The end papers are leaves, and it's just beautiful.
Oh, there's letters!
Yeah, there's all this interactive stuff. The best thing about the Mina Lima editions are that they have like interactive pages, and you can see all sorts of things like, oh, growing seedlings, and stuff like that, and I'm just so excited. It makes me want to reread The Secret Garden.
It is gorgeous.
So,
it's beautiful.
Right? Yeah, so while Maki's perusing that. The next thing I have to show you is a finished copy of The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, which is also one of my favorite books of the year. Very, very adorable adult contemporary romance about this girl who's sort of touched with Asperger's, and she is determined to make herself more capable of the physical side of a romantic relationship, and so she decides to hire an escort who is supposed to teach her, but things kind of escalate when she realizes she's developing feelings for him, and he's also developing feelings for her, and it's also good, and I just love it so much. And I'm really not doing a good job of being coherent about it, but it's great. I'll just link to my review. Quickly before this dies, volume 3 of Your Name, so guess who's finally going to be able to finish it? As if I don't know how it ends. And then we have part 2 and part 3 of Paradise Kiss, who this is also gonna be able to, well, I can't even speak anymore. I'll also be able to finish the series as well because I have it all now, so yay,
hooray.
I win. Oh, and now we come to the section where I'm gonna talk about multiple things that I bought that are all the same thing. So, I have 2 copies of, oh, no, wait, hold. There's one that slipped in. Want by Cindy Pon. It's a science fiction story that is set in a world that is so polluted that you have to wear like the gear in order to survive it. And oxygen, I think, becomes a commodity because of that, obviously. So it's sort of a Robin Hood story, I've heard. I'm very curious. I actually bought this because I saw the cover of the second book and I was like, I need to immediately read the first one so I can get to the second one.
There you go.
Okay, so now to the last section, which is basically me buying duplicates of books that I really, really loved. So first is My Lady Jane. I have 2 copies. This is the Target exclusive edition, and it has a bonus chapter in it, which is amazing. It's such a good bonus chapter. And this is the LitJoy Crate exclusive edition, and the reason why I bought this one is because there's
Dust jacket
art.
Dust
jacket, and you can actually turn it around if you want to.
It's gorgeous.
I kind of don't want to because I don't want to break it. Not only does it have art on the dust jacket, it actually also has art in it.
Oh, that's lovely.
And it's signed. And there's a letter. It's flippin' amazing. I think they did such a good job with this special edition, so I'm very excited about that. Also, in other dumbos that I bought, 2 editions of Save the Date by Morgan Matson. One is the Target edition, and one is the Barnes & Noble edition, and both have a lot of bonus content, and they're different bonus content, and they're both so worth it. I loved it. One of them has a bunch of playlists, both have deleted scenes. It's just so good. so good. This book is so good, you guys. It's a romantic comedy that's basically set over the course of a weekend where Charlie Grant's older sister is getting married. So many shenanigans, and it's just so much fun.
Also, Journey.
I also forgot to tell you guys what My Plain Jane is about, but basically it's Jane Eyre meets Ghostbusters. So, there's that. And last but certainly not least, first of all, for pre-ordering Legendary, I got this set of cards. I haven't opened them yet because I don't want to lose them, but it's basically the different like symbols, so that's cool. And I have 2 copies of Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is the US edition, this is the UK edition, and oh my god, this is another one of my favorite books. There's a reason I have multiple copies of it. Basically, it's the companion sequel to Caraval, and it centers around the younger sister Tella and her journey as she experiences Caraval, and she has to deal also with like the bigger issues that she's facing in the world and how that's going to be affecting the world. It's so good. It's hard to describe it without spoiling the first book, so I'm trying not to. But suffice to say, it was so good. I finished it and I wanted to cry over the fact that I have to wait so long for the next one. But it's amazing. I already wanted to reread it after I finished it. That's how good it was. So yeah, totally worthy of having 2 editions on my shelf.
For the pièce de résistance.
The best part of this haul, and okay, backstory. I just was like, maybe we should be good and save money, you know, and
in which case I'm like, we started something good, we're gonna finish it good. So long as they keep making these, we are gonna get it in the exact same way. Last year's haul had the first set of Harry Potter books, book 1, in different house colors.
20th anniversary editions.
They decided to put the Chamber of Secrets out in the exact same fashion, but with some slight difference in art. So we behold Chamber of Secrets hardcover and softcover Slytherin edition.
I think if you open it, there's actually, this one has the Slytherin crest on it, and this one actually, I think it has Salazar Slytherin on it. If I can remember right, where are you? Anyway, well, see?
In which case, the same thing happens for the Hufflepuff version of the 20th anniversary edition of the Chamber of Secrets. And then there is the Ravenclaw version.
Ugh, this one's so pretty.
Nice royal blue. Good job, Rowena. And then, of course,
last but not least,
certainly never least, the Gryffindors.
They're so beautiful. I don't regret the fact that we now own all of them. I mean, he funded them, so I can't really complain.
That's why I have no money. Cup noodles! Cup noodles!
Cup noodles for life!
For the next 3.5 weeks.
Ta-da! Look at all these pretty editions. Woo! Party!
And so that pretty much wraps up.
Yeah, see, now the next problem is where to put them all. I'll figure something out.
So that pretty much wraps up our June haul.
Yep, that's every last one of them.
If you guys have any questions or comments or just want to share some stuff that we missed out, because I'm sure we missed a couple of good books.
And if you are excited about any of these books, please let
us
know.
Comments.
We're always excited.
We're always happy to talk to everybody.
Well, Mackie is really good at that and I'm terrible at it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get better at it.
I'm like the doorman, just like, hello, welcome to the channel. How can I help you today?
Anyway, we hope you enjoyed our June book haul and we will be back with another one next month. But don't worry, there will be another video from us next week. Alright, till next time guys, bye!